Good morning. Right now, I'm on my way to Macau, which is really not far from Hong Kong, about an hour ferry ride. Of course, Macau has the reputation of being basically the Vegas of Asia, but it also has a really deep food culture, influenced of course by the Portuguese, the Chinese, and of course the local people. So it's gonna be a really fun food day. Let's go. So there's a few ways to get to Macau from Hong Kong. One is the uber posh, would be just to fly in a helicopter, which this ferry provides. The most common way, which is what I'm doing, is by like speed ferry, like really fast ferry boat. You could also drive there, but this is the most common way. It will be there in less than half an hour. And I just ordered instant noodles. That was dumb, but it was free. It was included in my ticket price, so the Asianness in me wouldn't let me not order it. Huh, it's actually pretty good. I figured they'd just give me a cup noodle or something, but pretty fancy. The thing is, this boat is really wobbly, so gotta just be careful, otherwise this ramen's gonna end up on my lap. This is definitely instant noodle, and they may have added a piece of meat in here. Again, this is a mistake. This is a food tour of Macau. I shouldn't even be starting right now, but I just can't turn down food I already paid for. Pretty good instant noodles. First official bite of the day. There's some foods that are very signature Macau. One of them is a pork chop sandwich. This place supposedly sells one of the best one of them. Sergio Cafe, and this place has been around since 1965. Over 50 years. So we're gonna go get a sandwich, and there's already a line. Look at this. Crazy line already. It just looks like a regular pork chop sandwich. Let's see what's so special about it. All right, as I'm getting closer to the store, I smell it now. It smells incredible. Just the smoky, sweet, fragrant aroma of the pork. It's just punching me in the nose right now. If this tastes half as good as it smells, might be in for something special here. All right, finally got my order. So it was a fairly long line. It took about 20 minutes to get my order. Here it is. The pork chop sandwich. It's literally a massive pork chop between two pieces of toasted bread. This pork chop still has the bone in it, some fatty parts, some lean parts, everything deep fried, sitting on a toasted bun. Doesn't look like they did much to this pork chop. This is when the Asian squat really comes in handy. No place to sit, but you still gotta eat something. You gotta watch out when you take a bite. I mean, there's still bones in here. All right, couple bites in, my assessment is that it's a good sandwich. I mean, it's a fried pork chop. That's pretty much always gonna be good. The pork chop is slightly seasoned. It's got a fantastic fried aroma to it. But it's not the most flavorful of pork chops, and I'm kind of confused what it's doing in this bun. I almost wish there's something to dip this in, like some mustard or maybe some sriracha or something, because I feel like it's missing some sort of sauce. The bun, there's really nothing on the bun. It's just toasted bun. It's a good pork chop sandwich, but that's all it is. It's a pork chop in a couple of toasted buns. Again, the pork chop is fried, so it's got a nice aroma. It's got good texture. Most of it is juicy. I like the fatty parts. The middle is a tad dry. I feel like this isn't worth standing in line for like half an hour for. I mean, it's good, and you should definitely try it if you're ever in Macau, because this is the thing to try, but it's okay. I mean, for $4, it's all right. Not a bad deal. It's pretty big. Again, just remember, don't just blindly bite down on it. Otherwise, it really wouldn't be worth it if you have to go fix your teeth. After this, we're gonna go try some Portuguese food. I'm on Tai Pa Island right now. As you can see, there's a lot of historical feel behind it. In the alley I just passed, there's tons of snacks. Almost every stall is selling some sort of eats. Almond cookies, really popular in Macau. Of course, egg tarts. So we're gonna go try all that, but there's a restaurant I wanna go to first. They're supposed to have really amazing Portuguese food. Well, probably Portuguese and Chinese influenced food. Actually, you don't see vibrant colors like this in Asia. Like walking around kind of reminds me of my grandparents' place. Just like a charming village setting. Macau, of course, was a Portuguese colony for hundreds of years, so there's a lot of Portuguese influence and, of course, Portuguese food. Of course, for authentic Portuguese food, go to Portugal, but my friends told me if I'm in Macau, I gotta try this restaurant that sells some amazing Portuguese cuisine. I'm mainly here for this one dish called clams bouillon pato, and it's just clams stir-fried with lemon and garlic. Have to get that. I also want to try their traditional Portuguese soup called sopa alentiana. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. And then some beef. This is the sopa alentiana. Right here, there's a poached egg, couple pieces of toast, shredded codfish. This is the really traditional Portuguese soup. And this broth is added after the ingredients are brought to you and poured over the poached egg and the toast and the codfish. And there's a little bit of olive oil in the broth as well. Man. This looks amazing. Just want to try the broth first. This is so pretty, and the way they did it is so intricate and beautiful. And of course, the toast have since expanded. The soup is very light. A really nice taste of the fish. It's garlicky. Taste the cilantro. The soup is really meant to be eaten all together. The codfish just brings a nice texture because everything is so soft from the soaked bread to the egg, and the broth is gentle as well. And the codfish just provides that nice chew. And I thought the soaked bread would be just like, you know, who loves soggy bread? But again, that just brings a slight difference in texture and mouthfeel to this whole dish. I think a little more garlic, this thing will be the bomb. I can smell my clams being cooked right now. That garlicky, lemony aroma. I can smell it from here. This is the famous Portuguese clam dish. Stir fry with onions, garlic, cilantro. Its aroma is basically driving me insane right now. Oh man. That's the best bite of food I had all day. Oh, that's amazing. Fresh clams, a little citrusy, a little buttery, really garlicky. There's the kind of clams that when you're eating, you don't want to just eat the morsel. You want to just put the whole thing in your mouth like a lollipop and just suck on it. And the cilantro, what a perfect complement to the clams. Only bad thing I'll say about this is that some of it still got little grains of sand inside. This is so good, I'll put up with the sand. Oh, this is when bread really comes in handy. That's great. This is the beef tenderloin dish that they recommended. So pieces of bacon on top of beef, just a ton of garlic. That is a tender piece of beef, and you can see the juice easily come to the surface. When you see a piece of beef like that, you gotta just gently stroke it with your fork. Be nice to it. Beneath the beef is just all gravy. And on the side, you have crispy fried potatoes. That's a great steak dish. This thing is so garlicky. I love how liberally they use garlic. Like every single dish, garlic. Excellent. I need to go to Portugal because if they love garlic as much as I do, that is my type of country. And the potatoes, don't need to dip it in ketchup. Just dip it in this garlicky, buttery sauce here. That is the way to do it. If you want to take it up a notch, dip it in the sauce, add a piece of bacon to it. I feel like somewhere in the world at that moment, Emeril Lagasse just said, bam. I love that all these dishes allows you to get your bread involved. Dessert time, and this is a popular Macau dish called serradura, and it means sawdust. Basically, this is sawdust pudding. And it's got that name because it kind of looks like there's sawdust in there, but it's just crumpled biscuits. There should be layers of cream, and in this case, it's just one layer, but usually there's layers of cream, basically cream and crumpled cookies. That's awesome. As I was saying the words cream and crumpled cookies, I'm thinking like, what's the big deal? It's cream and crumpled cookies, but this, oh, this is so good. Deliciously creamy, a little espresso flavor, the combination of the soft cream and the little cookie crumble. This is so irresistible. This dessert is like hanging out with your soulmate. There is never enough. All right. Now let's go eat some more. I'm at a restaurant called Litoral, which serves local Macanese cuisine. This place is packed right now. I'm here to try a couple of dishes, one of which is known as the national dish of Macau, the minchi, which is sort of like a breakfast dish. Basically minced meat over rice with eggs. Sounds simple, supposed to be amazing. And the other dish is called African chicken. Now this is also, some people consider a national dish of Macau, which is really weird because it's called African chicken. And the reason this dish is really popular here is that when Macau was a colony of Portugal, a lot of the officers who were in Africa, they retired to Portugal and started opening restaurants, and they started cooking dishes that they had over in Africa and they brought it over here. And this became a beloved dish for the past, I think, 50, 60 years or so. This is the menchi. Rice, potatoes, minced beef, and there's a sunset in here. Oh, I always get emotional when I do this. Oh yeah. Flow, golden yolk flow. Let that cover all that meat and potatoes. This is like Macao's version of corned beef hash and eggs with rice. But really, I don't feel like you need any rice because of the potatoes. It's good. It's really meaty. There's just a ton of meat in here. Tons of potatoes in here. The egg is cooked perfectly. I think this dish though needs a little bit of heat because look at all the meat they give you. I mean, they definitely did not hold out on the beef. Tons of beef cooked with caramelized onions. I mean, this is a good dish. I feel like there's a reason they give you the rice. It does need some rice. That's the stuff. It was a little overwhelming, too much without the rice, but this is a perfect rice dish. The meat is saucy. It's just aching for some rice to grab onto. I think with some chili oil, this thing will be amazing. It's already a dish that just looking at it, I love it. Half of it is just beef. That's like what I want for every single dish I have. They brought me some chilies. Wow, that's spicy. I think that's what this thing kind of needed because it was getting a little too beefy. But now with a little spice counteracting that fat, wow, this is pretty darn good. I could see why it's a breakfast dish. I mean, it is a heavy dish, especially if you eat all that potatoes. This thing definitely will fill you up and make sure you're carrying a food baby for the rest of the day. I'm finishing that though. This is the African chicken dish. It's basically Macao's version of curry chicken. Just slabs of sauce and some pickles over cuts of chicken. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is a good sized dish. This is gonna get a little messy. Gotta use my hands for this. Love everything about this except that the chicken is really dry. Sauce is amazing. A little sweet, a little spicy. Really mild but fragrant curry. But why is this chicken dry? And there's a chicken leg. It's hard to make a chicken leg dry. If it wasn't for that, this would be a really good dish. I don't think they actually cooked the chicken inside the curry. I think they cooked the chicken first and then they covered the top with curry. So even though the curry's good, the chicken is not. I mean, I'd much rather just eat the curry, put it over some rice. That's good. It's a shame because the flavor is nice, the curry's great, but man, they really dried this chicken up. Even though the curry's nice, this is a miss for me. All right, enough with the savory dishes. Let's go get some egg tart. I mean, that's really why I'm here. This is the famous Lord Stow's bakery. And supposedly they were the ones credited for creating the egg tart. They're literally baking everything, and there's so many people here that whatever is freshly out of the oven is pretty much sold right away, which is good for us. This looks and smells so amazing. I basically came to Macau for this. I mean, all the other food's great. I wanted to explore the culture, of course, all the other Macanese cuisines, but I basically followed my nose and my heart all the way here for this. Amazingly flaky crust, the beautiful spots of golden liquid just peeking through the charred surface. Cheers, Macau. It's one of those foods that when you bite into it, you almost hear it before you taste it. As your teeth sinks into that crusty surrounding, for just a few seconds, the world melts away like that creamy custard that's inside this egg tart. Close your eyes and just enjoy those couple seconds where you're basically floating on the clouds in heaven where this was probably made. If you come here, don't just buy one. Get a box. This will buy you about a minute of complete solitude where it's just you and the egg tart. Tofu and Yakult gelato. Bet you never had this combo before. Huh. That tastes exactly like tofu. It's not bad. It tastes kind of like sweet soy milk. You know, anything Yakult touches turns delicious. This ice cream shop. Durian ice cream and spicy ice cream. All right, they're out of the spicy ice cream, but still have the durian, and that's something you're supposed to try in Macau, so get one of those. And they make this with fresh durian. Doesn't really smell all that pungent. This actually tastes really good. It's really creamy and nice, and that texture fits pretty well with ice cream. I was really hoping to try the spicy ice cream before because I heard about it. Never had a chance to try it. But this is excellent. Oh, this is really, really good. 2 ice creams in a row. That's how we roll on a food adventure. So one last dish I wanted to try before I head off back to Hong Kong is the shrimp roll noodles. Now, the place I'm at is probably a very touristy place. There was one place I wanted to go to, but it was really far, and I gotta make it back from my ferry, so don't have the time to go all the way over there. So I just wanted to try this dish and just kind of get an idea of what it is. So it's basically shrimp roll, shrimp eggs dusted on top of like dry thin noodles. I mean, this is kind of pricey. It's like $10 for like a small portion. Probably not worth it because this thing is tiny. I wouldn't even call this a pre-appetizer. And to eat it, just mix the shrimp roll. And I feel like at least this place doesn't give you a lot of shrimp roll. I mean, it's kind of covering the outside of my noodles and that's basically it. And it's kind of crumbled together, so they're gonna cut it a bit for me. It smells really shrimpy. It smells good. Yeah. Whoa, the broth is good too. Very crabby. So the shrimp flavor, even though, I mean, these are tiny little shrimp roll, packs a mighty punch. This is actually really surprisingly good. I mean, I still don't know if this is worth like 10 bucks. I don't know if like shrimp roll is really hard to get or something, but this is a pretty tasty dish. The noodles are very al dente, chewy. Like I said, the broth is good too. Chili oil, a little bit. Let's see what happens. Good hot oil. Gotta taste this before I left Macau, because this would have been a food regret. This is really good. Oh, I finished that real quick. All right, there's one more thing I gotta eat before I head off. I know I said it last time, but I really mean it this time. I already tried one version of Sergio at the restaurant, but oof, that woman's umbrella almost ended me. But I want to try a different version here. This is bittersweet.
You can see here, have 5 layers.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
We make it and then we put in the freezer. And then when the customers order, we put in new fresh ones, just like this.
So that's the sawdust. This is good stuff. That's creamy and icy. It's like an ice cream cake. And then it melts in your mouth a little smooth. Last thing I'm putting in my mouth before heading back to Hong Kong. This is kind of what I needed after that spicy prawn noodle. What an incredibly fun day here in Macau. I wish I had more time here. Next time, I'm actually gonna try to get a hotel here because there's so much more of the city to explore. I mean, guys, come on. It's not just the casinos. I mean, I know this is like the Vegas of Asia, but I mean, just walking around for a day, I can already see, I haven't even scratched the surface of this beautiful, vibrant city. So thank you very much, Macau, for all the hospitality, and I'm taking a piece of you with me, or 5 pieces of you. Till we eat again, guys. See you later.